days of putting it in a Homes and Land magazine. No, we're spending dollars on social media ads and attracting buyers from where we know the buyers are coming from.
I think, and I appreciate you guys pointing this out, and you guys broke it down a little more. But the way I was like recently when the market inventory started going up and things started changing, right? And I was told, like, don't let the lack of increase be sold as a decrease, right? Like it's not going straight up. But it's still going up.
Right.
It's just in a more conservative way, and people are always looking at, if it's not going crazy, then it must be failing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the thing. If you're looking at a 4% appreciation on your home, your biggest asset, and I was always told, like, hey, look, you're going to put 20% down, let's just say $1 million, you're going to get 800, 800 is going to be borrowed, and you're going to leverage all that. You're going to get appreciation on that, on the whole million, not the 200 that you put in.
Right,
it's
exactly.
4%. That's like a compounded thing.
But there was houses that made 300,000 or 400,000 in a couple of years. I bought a house for 820 that a year and a half later sold for 1.3. That went up 500,000.
You do.
But people,
That was a perfect storm.
yeah, but exactly, right? But people are looking at that. If you've only been in real estate for the last 5 or 6 years, you think of that as a norm.
Right,
That's
right.
not a norm. That's a wild ass thing that happened.
Well, that was something that was interesting was when we went into the market that started shifting where we were increasing, we were gaining equity 10 to 20%. It seemed like year over year for a bit, right? And you saw the kids or the teenagers who came out of the recession in 2008, 2009, when they got into homeownership, they were way more conservative because they saw their parents fail. They saw their parents going through hard times. They saw what had to happen. And then now you have the generation that just went through the pandemic, who saw big wins, who saw their parents getting all the bells and whistles and the upgrades and refinancing and buying the RVs. So we're going to have another generation that didn't experience what the generation previously experienced.
The crash.
And so now when you look at the real estate market and what people say about it and how they talk about it, it really is what was their upbringing and their experience in their young adult life that makes them give the outlook on the real estate market.
It shapes the way they think.
It shapes the way they think.
Yeah.
And that's why when you put yourself in these different markets or talk to these different groups of people, you'll have a different feeling because it's how were they brought up and what was their parents' experience. Like my kids have a different experience with real estate and relationship with real estate because it's only been a gain in their short life, right? They haven't seen the hard times, but now go back to someone that saw the 2008, 9, 10 market.
Or bought a home.
Right, foreclosed on something, right?
Yeah.
You know, overextended themselves. They're going to be a little more cautious and look at real estate for what it is. It's a long-term investment. It's forced savings. Some of the generation got spoiled because you could purchase a home and move in 2 years and have $100,000 more, and purchase a home and move in 2 years and have $100,000 more.
Some people really rode that wave the last few years.
Where you really, real estate's always been about buying the home, having the forced savings, enjoying the home, and having your money work for you. So at your retirement, you have this asset that's paid off, and that was the goal, right?
Ideally 2 or 3. Think about what everyone's grandparents bought their first home for, and then think back, man, if they had just bought 2 or 3 or 4 more back then.
Yeah, and
You know what I
kept
mean?
those.
Long-term wealth. It's always been
Never
long-term wealth.
sold them.
Yep.
Right.
Just kept it in the family.
Right.
And our generation now is how can we buy and sell, buy and sell? Well, go back 50 years ago, it was buy and never sell.
Yeah. I just had this conversation with a client yesterday. We were talking about how, I told her, I don't think anyone should ever sell if they don't have to.
Right.
But unfortunately, that's not a reality for most people. They do need to sell, get their equity